Imagine this. You just found out that tomorrow you need to give a 15-minute presentation in front of 100 people. So, how are you feeling right about now? If the idea of talking in front of people makes your heart pound or you get a little sweaty thinking about it, you may have something called glossophobia, the fear of public speaking. Most of us could use a little help to become more assured and confident speakers, whether we're presenting our ideas in a meeting, giving a presentation during a teleconference, or preparing for an important job interview. We often think public speaking is about standing in front of an audience and delivering a speech, but the same skills are involved in all kinds of situations, like asking for a raise or just making yourself heard in the workplace. And yet, speaking in public is one of the most common phobias, even more so than a fear of spiders, intimacy, or death. Honing your skills can give you the confidence you need to present yourself with poise and composure, and that can bring all kinds of benefits. According to research from Columbia University, those who dread talking in front of others make, on average, about 10% less than those who feel comfortable with it. And it can lower your chances of being promoted by 15%. The good news, anyone can learn to become a confident, commanding speaker and acquire the skills you need to shine in interviews, presentations, and even speeches. Remember this: good speakers are made, not born. And good speakers can become great speakers with the right training. Hi, I'm Celeste Headley, and I'm your guide for this course from Knowable. For the next few hours, you'll learn from the best in the field of public speaking, who will give you the tools you need to become a confident communicator in all aspects of your life, especially those high-stakes moments when all eyes are on you. And I've been there. I give speeches all over the world to audiences that range in size from a few hundred to more than 12,000. But my speaking career began almost by chance when I gave a TEDx talk in 2015 on 10 ways to have a better conversation. And it went viral.
You know, it used to be that in order to have a polite conversation, we just had to follow the advice of Henry Higgins in My Fair Lady: stick to the weather and your health. But these days, with climate change and anti-vaxxing, those subjects are not safe either. So this world that we live in...
To date, my video has been viewed by more than 20 million people, and I've since given speeches to companies like Twitter, United Airlines, Apple, Ford, and Google, just to name a few. I know firsthand that the skills you need to become a good speaker can be learned, and the benefits are huge. In fact, one study by the University of Wolverhampton showed that confident speakers are seen as more intelligent, likable, and competent. Not to mention, people who are well-spoken earn more money and are often viewed as natural leaders. Billionaire investor Warren Buffett once said that improving your communication skills is an easy way to increase your worth by 50%. But before he was making all that money, a young Warren Buffett was absolutely unable to speak in public, and he actually became physically sick with the thought of it. So he signed up for a training course to improve his skills, just like you have. This course is not about becoming perfect. Even the most skilled speakers have made mistakes.
I get up, I shake the man's hand, and I say, on behalf of... and I completely go blank. And it was the longest, most awkward 15 seconds that I have ever experienced. Meanwhile, during the 15 seconds, I'm still holding that guy's hand. And he's looking at me as if to say, kid, please just say something. So I just said, here, and I sat down.
If that story sounds familiar, don't worry. Forgetting what you're supposed to say isn't the end of the world. We'll help you unlock what's happening and use practical tools to get past it.
When you have a blackout on stage, you need to breathe. And that's something I still do. I've been going on stage now for the best part of 30 years. And before every presentation, I still take a few really deep breaths.
One time, I was giving a 45-minute speech at the U.S. Capitol and flipped to my first slide, only to discover that someone had changed the background color from purple to white, and all my words on the slides disappeared. I have never forgotten to double-check my slide deck since then, believe me. Now I have a list of items that I check off before I walk on stage. That's something I learned through trial and error. But in this course, we're going to give you all the tools you need to conquer your fears and become a confident speaker. Many of you have already heard a lot of advice. Things like look a person in the eye, think of interesting topics to discuss in advance, nod and smile to show that you're paying attention. Forget all of it. It probably won't help you. There are science-backed strategies that can really improve your communication skills, and they go far deeper than telling you to nod your head. We'll start by learning how to overcome your own self-doubt.
The best strategy here is what I call the 5-pound weight, because social confidence, any form of confidence, is a skill, and we can develop it. Another way to think of it is it's a muscle. You start with like a real basic thing, like, in this meeting, I'm just going to ask one question.
And it's not just you. Almost everyone gets a little nervous, even people who've played professional sports and earned a Super Bowl ring.
Any sport that I've ever played is about constantly working at it, trying to build a level of confidence. And it's the exact same thing when I speak in the public, where I don't just show up, I go through it.
The key is practice, building our confidence in private so it can shine in public.
Practicing in front of people is probably the best way to do the rehearsal, because you do strange things when you step in front of an audience.
You'll also learn some tricks of the trade, like how to improve your voice.
I used to do this thing in my workshops many years ago where I have people do this exercise called Hello, Joe. Hello, Joe. Hello. And to get them to connect the diaphragmatic breath with the voice.
And how to push past the fear of speaking with a stutter.
Most importantly, I just realized, I'm like, look, if I stutter, I just have to just keep going. And that was the aha moment for me.
You'll learn how to write a memorable speech.
I often find if you take, let's say, the first 4 to 5 paragraphs of your speech and you just throw them out, often that's the real place you want to start.
And how to connect with your audience.
The more intimate your audience, the more direct eye contact you can make.
You'll even learn how to present in a digital environment.
It's not that you're talking to an inanimate object or that you're talking to millions, but you're talking to somebody specific. It's not you. It's not somebody who's going to judge you. It's somebody who needs to hear your message.
And how to ace your next job interview or networking event.
The goal is to move from conversation to connection, and that happens after the event. So in that conversation, you want to be thinking, how am I adding value to this person? Or why would I reach out to them again?
Becoming a better speaker requires a lot of different skills, and the work is hard, but it's also incredibly rewarding. If you can get past your nerves and learn to feel comfortable and confident while speaking, you'll find your new abilities will have an impact both at home and at work. Think about this. Having conversations with others not only lifts your mood and improves your cognitive abilities, it also gets better as you talk more.
Some of our own work has actually suggested that the longer that the conversation goes, the more sort of happiness builds, which makes a lot of sense because you're building the relationship. You have more to talk about. There's more intimacy.
That's what this course is all about, bringing you more connections, more success, and more self-assurance, so you can go out into the world with confidence, fully prepared for whatever comes your way. Improving your speaking and conversational skills will bring you tremendous benefits. I'm excited to take this journey with you. Let's get started. Up first, finding your confidence. For many people, fear is the biggest hurdle to becoming a confident communicator. In our next lesson, we'll face that fear together. A behavioral scientist will explain why we're so afraid to talk to others and why it's so important to get over that fear. And then a clinical psychologist and confidence coach will share how he overcame his own social anxiety with practical tips on what might work for you.